Me and a friend recently finished Granblue Fantasy Relink, and as I said in all my Relink videos, I absolutely adore this game. I love this game with a passion. If I could play this game more, I would. And you know what? I probably will. This game was just so much fun. I cannot believe how well crafted this new expansion was for Endless Ragnarok. It was a lot more than I probably could have hoped for in terms of content, in terms of just the overall experience of the new DLC. It was amazing. I had such an amazing time. There is some, or at least one thing for me. The story was a little slow, but once it got going, and it was worth it. All right, it was worth it. The amount of bosses. This is the thing that I've said in my previous review for Granblue Fantasy Relink in the first place. The thing about that game was that I felt that the bosses were lacking a bit in terms of death. Maybe because we were too strong, but it felt like I never truly died in the game until I reached Lucilius for the first time. And it wasn't until there where I was finally happy to see the death screen and to see the quest failed screen, because it felt like I was actually going to learn something. I actually had to pattern learn. I actually had to grow as a player, and not just my stats, but as a player, to understand what I need to do in order to survive and live through this type of quest. Now, does that still fall for Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok DLC? Absolutely. Though, just like the vanilla game, I didn't truly feel it in maybe the first few quests, but once you start going into Fate Quest and Chaos Quest, or just in general, Chaos Quest, yes, you will start feeling that the bosses are starting to get just a bit more challenging, but it isn't all the way till the end and after the end, where the bosses are no joke. I heard that line once in another reviewer, and I thought he was kidding, or that he was overhyping it, or maybe he was lacking on either guarding or perfect dodging. No, he was not kidding. The later bosses are actually no joke. He was right. What reviewer was it? I have no idea. This was when the game first came out, or at least when the reviews for Endless Ragnarok came out. It was no joke. Alright, these bosses actually do get extremely more dense, extremely more fun to play. Yes, they might seem a little harder, but with proper knowledge of the boss, with at least some level of communication with other players, you need at least one friend here. It was absolutely amazing. I had a blast learning the pattern of the enemies again, growing more stats, whether that was through leveling up my weapons past their limit and more masteries, better connection with other players while having crossplay, being able to play with Nintendo Switch users, PlayStation users, PlayStation 4, 5, whatever. I don't really remember when the game came out, whether it was PS4, PS5. I'm pretty sure it was PS5. But either way, I just could not believe how much fun I had. Every time I went in here, there was a point where it was just a struggle to just get to the next boss, but it was also at the same time one of the most fun times I had with the game, trying out some new characters, and apparently still sticking with my favorite character, even though I had more characters that I could play with it. But that's not here nor there. This was just amazing. It was just amazing. The amount of missions, the amount of content, story, more game past the story, the roguelike mode that it has. Just everything that comes within this game was just so much more than I could have counted for, especially for the price. At least in my experience, this was so worth it for me personally. I honestly don't have much to say. I pretty much said everything that I needed to say. I said some other things too on my previous Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok video. I just don't want to keep repeating myself. It's just that we waited so long for this without even knowing we were waiting for it. It just kind of felt like it came out of the blue that we were gonna get another DLC. And now that I'm finished, I'm so happy. I'm just so happy. I'm fine with maybe getting more content every 2 years. To be honest, if we don't get any more, I'm also fine with it. If I feel actually satisfied this time around versus the previous time, because the previous time it felt like the game was barely starting when we got to the Lucilius fight. Now, this time around, it actually feels like it's the complete version. Like this is what the full game should have been from the start. It is an absolutely good time and a grind, of course. As I said, this part of the DLC just felt like it's what the original game needed. If this game gets more content, I'll actually be very surprised and I will love this game even more. If it continues from here on out, let's say every 2 years, every 1 year we get more content or something, every 1 or 2, it's fine. I actually wouldn't mind it. But if we don't get anything else, I also don't mind it. I would just at least like some communication. Overall, had an amazing time. I cannot wait to start working on more characters and start playing as other characters in Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok.
一緒に行くからにはこの力あなたたちのために使うよ。頼りにしてね。
If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I also have a Patreon if you guys want to support me and the channel directly. With that said, thank you guys for being here, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.